Hi guys, welcome to Alpha Book Club. This is our, there's no applause.
There's no applause.
I was like,
Are you not entertained?
welcome to Alpha Book Club. This is our online interactive book club for all of our Alpha community members. I'm Rachel Hine, and joining me as always are the lovely Hector Navarro.
What's up?
Stop doing
Who's on notice, and Maud Garrett.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey!
Welcome to all of our Alpha guests. It's great to see you guys, and as well as all of the new people coming in from YouTube. Thank you for joining us as well.
Oh, there, look, they're in the.
Oh,
look at that.
yay!
Cream Puff
There's
228.
people.
Shanna.
Cream Puff 228.
Says I see tiny people. We are
We
small.
tiny
I'm
people.
not.
Maximize your screen. Maximize your screen.
This is the top-down shot. This is probably
And then we've got all our Alpha folks, Lost the Numbers, Bucky 618. So
Java Book
welcome.
Geek Girl
Yes.
already got complimented on her name because it covers all the bases. Great. So good to see all you guys.
Yay.
So for everyone who's new and joining us, this is obviously, as the title suggests, it's a book club where we get to read a different book every single month. This month we're reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Because you guys voted for it. You choose it every single month. This one won swampingly. Is swampingly a word that I can use in that regard?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's very
Just clean the swamp out.
Harry Potter.
I'm just
yeah, do it.
wearing. I'm wearing Cthulhu, so
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
everything's
that's
just a little bit more
That's the skirt to end all skirts.
slippery.
Yes.
And it's also a wine club. I just
It
decided.
is, yes. We drink wine now. That's a new addition that has only improved the show.
Agreed.
It's
I
is
get
a-
sometimes we go
naughty.
off. I know.
We're
Sometimes.
drinking. You know what? I want to have Maud read this in her accent. What are we drinking
yeah.
today on our wine club?
Oh, this is a vintage 2014 Boggle. Boggle.
Boggle.
So classy.
Boggle.
If I said it, it'd be like
vineyards.
Bagel. But
Bagel.
That sounds nicer.
As
Yeah.
growers, we hold high regard for the mindful tending of the soil and exacting knowledge of the cellar.
It makes, makes
So
everything
good.
sound
Okay, all right.
beautiful.
No, we have to share. Okay, great.
Really nice.
So if you're just joining
I'm not
us,
sick anymore.
oh good, we'll be fine. We're all friends here. And the best part about this is that it's a book club. You guys are a part of this book club. So if you guys have questions, if you have thoughts, you can Skype in and talk to us in real time. You can talk to us in the chat. If you have anything to say, we're here to chat with you.
Cool.
Previously on this book, we read the first nine chapters
Yes.
of the book, and so far, I've read it. Maud has listened to it.
Oh yes, but this I'm talking when I was 13.
Yes, so it's
Which
been a
was
long
like 4
time.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
I kinda
yes.
remember it.
Again,
Yeah.
I really appreciate your parents letting you come on the show every
That's-
week. That's
I
really
know. Don't
Sure
tell
to
about
thank
one.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, right. No.
On the
Okay. Sorry.
I'm 30.
Sorry, Mods folks. Really cool.
And Hector is reading this for the first time.
True, but I've seen the movie recently.
Yes, you
so-
just rewatched it, and we also talk about, we either fan cast sometimes on the
Yes.
show, we'll
I
talk
have
about
one.
film adaptations. Oh, for new
I have a
characters?
fan cast for this section.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Should
we
Oh wait.
we'll
Okay.
get there, but you can catch up on the first episode, the first part on YouTube if you want to. We'll be reading this all month. Normally it's on Alpha, now it's on YouTube, so we can hang
Yay.
out with you guys. We're super excited. So,
I gotta read this comment, Rachel.
Okay.
Lani Foronda from YouTube says this book saved me from depression.
that's wonderful.
That's
Fantastic.
That's the power of books, man.
That's
yeah.
the power
Sure,
of
Douglas
books.
would love
Absolutely.
That. Like knowing
And Wolverine 6170 in the Alpha chat says, "Lovely outfit, Rachel."
that. I concur.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks. It's cats.
It's
That's with bows.
Cats with
Yeah.
bows
And glasses. And glasses.
Cool.
And glasses.
And glasses. See, that's my dumb voice. I
And
always get real
glasses.
insecure about my dumb voice whenever I'm sitting next
You
to
can,
Maud Garrett. All right.
whatever, you can do voice stuff.
At least you guys can both make dinosaur noises.
That's true.
I can't.
Ooh,
I tried
there's
and I
highlights of
failed.
that. Highlights of
So,
Alright.
in this book, so far, do one of you guys want to walk us through where we've been so far
Sure
in
thing.
the
So in the
book?
first night, my bookmark is a tester of a fragrance this week. It
Cool.
changes every single week. It's all about a guy called Arthur. Now Arthur is your very stereotypical dullard. Oh, I'm going to call him a
Yes.
dullard.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's in a bit of a pickle because his house is about to be bulldozed over.
Ugh.
So his friend decides to do something that a good friend would, and that's drag him to the bar to tell him that the world's ending. Now, this seems a little bit left of center before you realize that his friend, named,
Ford Prefect.
thank you,
Welcome.
is actually an alien.
Most deaf.
Yes, most definitely an alien.
Yeah.
And played by Most Def. And basically they get picked up by an alien race which is quite disgusting, and they get ejected into space, and they have 30 seconds to live, and in 29 seconds they're picked up by a second vessel
Yes.
that happens to be a stolen ship, which has a
Improbability drive.
improbability drive.
That's right.
I
That's
gotta
right.
read slower.
Also, one little tiny detail
That I missed?
The Earth was destroyed.
Oh,
So,
that old chestnut.
Yes. Everybody
Yes.
on Earth obliterated.
Is gone.
Yes.
And then from there, I think that's all we kind of got.
That's how as far as we've gotten. So basically, one fun thing about one, it's better than the one where one of the weeks where you said to you, who wants to do the previously on, and my face went white, and it was like, no, I'm tired, no.
And I looked you in the
Please, no.
eye when you said that. Who wants to do it? I was like, I'm already looking at you.
So
Excuse me.
couldn't be any worse than that. So what we've been talking about so far too is the tone in this book, the absurdist British humor,
Yes.
which we love in varying degrees and are used to in varying degrees. And so
Yes.
there are certain parts with the language here where I love there's a part in this section where you get to know exactly what's going to happen, sort of. They like preview
Yeah.
the drama and tell you, oh, well, everyone's going to be fine and a couple things are going to happen, and then go into full detail. And it just feels so very British to be like, and then there were missiles and someone got bruised, but don't worry about it, it'll all be like it's so
I love it.
succinct and
Yes.
playful in such a dry way.
Yeah.
Proper. It's always so proper.
Yes.
I have to ask you, being both American and me being Australian, does it make more sense to you, having read this book and understanding a little bit more about my humor, do I make more sense as a person?
I think you already made sense to me as a person.
Yes.
But I believe that this is absolutely a piece of that puzzle. Because if you come to me and you're like, this is my sense of humor, I love Monty Python, right there I'm already like, I already know where you are in, what area generally speaking you're in, and this is just a perfect example of that. So I would say yes, in the same way that I could probably send you specific sketches from Saturday Night Live, specific routines of American stand-up comedy, and you'll go, oh, okay, this is Hector's point of view and his comedic sensibilities, and I already knew that, but then these are good examples of that. I could send you little bits from the show Animaniacs, and you'll be like, okay, this is Hector, I get it.
I feel
So,
like I was a little bit
sure.
young for Monty Python.
Okay.
Not
Because you are 14.
no, plus
Right.
3. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, 17.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
way before
17,
my
18.
time.
Yeah. But yes, I think absolutely that sort of absurdist like there's a cheekiness to it in the, but yes, it
great.
totally makes sense.
It's great. And again, there's so many people in the YouTube chat right now comparing the movie and the book. One of them said, I forget your name, sorry, they're like, the movie was good, the book was better. I kind of agree with that. Somebody else said, I thought the book was great, the movie didn't do it justice. I kind of disagree. I feel like the movie did do it justice, but it's still here's my issue with the movie after having read this so far into the book. I'm like, the movie should have been a full-on British production, no Americans involved.
That was my
No American-
problem
like-
with
That's
it
what
when
we
it came
discussed.
out.
Yeah,
That's what we
they
discussed.
fused the two humors
fused it.
together, and it's go one way or the other way, because when
Even-
you're trying to please
yes.
everyone, you actually disappoint everyone.
Agreed. And
Yes.
even like Zooey Deschanel as the female character, I'm like, I like her, and she was good in the film. Miscast. Most
Yeah.
deaf. Miscast.
Okay.
Although the one that you have to keep is got to be Sam Rockwell. I would say keep him.
Yes,
as,
because
And Martin Freeman.
Oh no, I'm saying from the movie. Yes.
Yeah,
everybody
Martin
who's
Freeman,
not
I
British
think. I can't not
is Sam
see
Rockwell.
him.
Everybody else, you have to keep. You got to
Got
keep the
it.
Alan Rickman. You have to keep Martin Freeman. He holds
I
it together.
understand.
Yes.
So, and when I was thinking about that, I was like, they should have just made this the most British thing ever. And every alien species had a British accent, and every alien looked like a British person.
but
then-
America.
What's
it
They
that?
like
still
Red
do that
Dwarf?
where they'll
But then just-
adapt a
Yes, I
British
have.
show.
But then just do an American sci-fi movie with like an all-black cast later. Like that's all I'm saying is like you should have done Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, full-on British production,
And then Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
like a southern something else, something
Galaxy,
else. Like, to
Galaxy.
me, a different but similar thing is like Galaxy Quest, like that.
Yes.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
it's like you just have to
Also
find
Sam
different things.
Rockwell. And
Exactly.
also
Yeah,
great
Rickman.
movie.
Seeing a
and Alan
common
Rickman.
denominator.
Yes.
I'm an
Ah, yeah, I think
Yeah.
my issue, and I'm gonna rewatch the movie for the
After.
last time that we discuss this,
Agreed.
which is in 2 weeks,
I
because
think it grabs great moments. Like there's great moments in it. But
I
yeah.
only saw it once, and I remember thinking it wasn't the right type of humor for it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to revisit it, because as we've been looking at things that we've either read before or seen the movie for, there's a very different perspective. So getting into this section though, they're on the improbability drive, which
Yes.
or
It's never
improbability
completely
ship.
explained.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Like, I'm a
Sure.
fast reader, and I'll get every
Yeah,
third
yeah.
word and like fill in the blanks myself. But at the same time, like, I mean, I also dropped out of science classes like as soon as I was allowed to.
Oh, me too. Science and math.
Maths is improbability is numbers, Maud.
Oh yeah.
There you go. And I get the gist of it all, where like because they gave the backstory to the scientist who tried to figure
Which
out
is great.
the probability of every single circumstance, and then it finds that the one in whatever it is. Is
It's
that
so
what's
silly.
happening?
It says, then one day, a student who had been left to sweep up the lab after a particularly unsuccessful party found himself reasoning this way. If, he thought to himself, such a machine is a virtual impossibility, then it must logically be a finite improbability.
Yeah.
So all I have to do in order to make one is to work out exactly how improbable it is, feed that figure into the infinite improbability generator, give it a fresh cup of really hot tea, and turn it on.
It's just so
He did
British.
this and was rather startled to discover that he had managed to create the long sought-after golden infinite improbability generator out of thin air. It startled him even more when, just after he was awarded the Galactic Institute's prize for extreme cleverness, he got lynched by a rampaging mob of respectable physicists who had finally realized that the one thing they really couldn't stand was a smartass.
Yeah,
Very
that's so
British.
British.
Makes
Yeah,
no
it's
sense.
so British.
But
We literally
it's
have tall
fine.
poppy
Like,
syndrome. Do you know what that is?
What's
Tall
it?
poppy syndrome is when someone finds success, so then it is your job to bring them back down.
What?
Oh, that's the name for it?
Yeah,
I hate
tall
when-
poppy syndrome. When the tall poppy grows tall,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got to cut them down.
I don't like when people do that.
No,
It makes
you
me
don't have it
deeply
here.
sad.
It's lovely. Here, everyone wants to see you succeed and help you out.
Well,
Back
to a certain
home,
extent.
to
To a certain extent. Once certain celebrities get up there, the Mariah Careys, the Dave Chappelles, the
No
Kanye
one likes
Wests.
a diva.
Right.
That's true.
Knock them down. But some
Yep.
rise above the crop, like The Rock. It's like nobody's ever going to be able to cut that guy.
No,
So
because
great.
he's
So
so
great.
positive
He's
and
all time.
lovely. I
Tune
love.
in next week for the Rock Appreciation Group. that we'll
Yes,
have.
I know. We're
What I-
rebranding the show.
I do encourage everyone to drink, but in this case, I will encourage everyone to drink tea every time tea is mentioned.
Good call.
Yes.
Oh,
'cause
man,
it's
there's so
mentioned
much
a couple
tea.
of times.
It's the calming. It's the calming of the Brits. It's the any sort of stress, any
Yeah.
confrontation, and
tea.
yeah. Well, let's
Arthur.
just
Arthur
you
cares
stop
about
it.
tea so much in
Yes,
the book.
everything's going on, and then he's like, "What is missing in this particular moment right now? A cup of tea." And I love the technology, like the whole improbability generator, the and this, what's it called? It's a Nutramax or something like that, where
Oh yes.
you get scanned and your taste buds are analyzed,
Right.
and it basically does a trial and error of what it is that you are craving and what would be most delicious to you and what would be the most nutritious, and they'll create it for you. So here he is going, I want a bloody cup of tea. I want a cup of tea, and out spurts this liquid that's nothing like tea, but he still finds it quite palatable.
Yes, because it's exactly what he wants. And another technological thing that I love is also my favorite character in the book. It's Marvin.
Yes,
Love it.
Who's
So
the
depressed.
greatest, and he has
He's a robotic
genuine.
Eeyore.
Yeah,
but with more heart.
yeah, and
more
he's
sarcasm.
he has he's a genuine people personalities GPP feature, and. Oh, said Arthur, sounds ghastly. A voice behind them said, it is. The voice was low and hopeless and accompanied by a slight clanking sound. Every way that he is described, or his actions are described, Marvin regarded it with a cold loathing. Like, he's so sad, and nobody appreciates him. And even though he's perfectly constructed, it feels like he's too heavy and he's like
But
dragging
at the
his
same time,
body.
he never wants to be Debbie Downer. Like he's
No.
like, "Am I upsetting you? No, you're
I'm
upset
so
now. I'm
sorry.
bringing you
Which just makes
down.
it
Am I
worse.
bringing
I
you
know.
down?"
Which just
Oh,
makes
and
it
he
worse when a
hops
person-
on
We
and
all
the
know
person
people
does
like
that.
that.
Come on. I'm probably just bumming you out, right, guys?
No,
I
not
should-
at all. No.
No, I
but
shouldn't be here. I'll just
No,
go home.
stay.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
And you're like, no, you're really my friend. It's
Yeah.
like, but stop
Yeah.
though. But please stop.
The conversations that he has about the doors.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
He hates
doors.
The cheerful
Hates
doors.
the door.
I would hate those doors too.
I would also think, just happy to open for you. What's it? Closing now. Oh, man, we're shutting the
Did
deal.
you guys hear Alan Rickman's voice when you read?
Yes.
Marvin the
Yes,
Robot?
I did.
It's perfect casting.
It's so
Yeah.
It's maybe the
good.
best part of the film adaptation.
He has such a
because
unique voice.
such a unique voice and such a great delivery that it
Yes.
really made me love the character even more, I think. And just to be able to visualize it the way that they describe him as being fit together, but he could fit better. You know what I mean? Like, just like, I'm
Yes.
like, if I was left to my own imagination, I would have made him like a junky, broke-ass C-3PO. But the fact that I got to see the movie, I'm like, okay, he's got a head as big as a planet, and he's this small little, it's so adorable. It's great.
so cute, and I love that I don't know. I think he's such a fun character, and the way that they describe him is like the perfect Douglas Adams description, everything. And he, all my favorite parts are him, just everything.
That's literally all you highlighted.
That's all I've
Look at that.
highlighted.
Look at that.
Brian, can we get the chat?
Then we also have,
Sorry, mate. I'm just not sure if it's scrolling anymore.
we have sort of Trillian, and they find this rare planet, which is called
Margaret.
You
You tweeted it.
I know I did. I looked it up before I tweeted it. It's oh gosh,
One of
I'm
the
not gonna
beginning
find
one
it.
of the
Anyway,
letters.
it's a planet, and it's a planet that was full of sort of higher, happier beings, and they were so successful and so wealthy that they started manufacturing planets. We don't really know what happened to them. They're sort of like the
Magrathea,
Magrathea.
Magrathea.
Oh, okay.
I said Maggie though. That's how my money.
And so Magrathea has become the stuff of legend. It's like Atlantis, which I don't know if we've talked about this, but I love reading about like Atlantis and
Ooh.
lost cities and things like that.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah, Lost is great.
Okay, I'm the only person here who hasn't watched Lost.
Stop trying to. We have someone actually dialing in. I hear a little ringing. I don't hear one, but there is one. We have a Skype guest. Again, if you're just joining us, one of the great things about Alpha Book Club is that you guys can dial in. You can let our moderators know ahead of time if you want to talk about this section of the book, and we'll dial you in and talk to you. So right now, we're going to talk to one of our Alpha community members, Heather.
Cool.
And I'm going to put this.
Hi. Isn't American, is he? Is he? Oh, he is?
American.
Who am I thinking of?
All right. Hi, Heather.
The guy from Red
Hi,
Dwarf.
how are you?
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you guys?
Good.
I can see you. You're in
There we
front
go.
of
There we
me.
go.
How's it going?
Hi,
Pretty
see me
cushions
too.
behind you.
Awesome. So before we get into
you hear?
Hitchhiker's Guide, what are some of your favorite books? Are you an avid reader? Have you always been reading? Why did you join Alpha Book Club?
Yeah, I've been a reader since I was little. I got an hour before bed every night to read.
I love that.
Nice.
I like fiction, science fiction, and memoirs mostly.
Oh.
I actually
Wow.
read Hitchhiker's Guide many, many years ago the first time. So I was actually happy to pick it up and read it again.
Cool.
Awesome. What have you noticed reading it the second time?
Marvin reminds me so much of Eeyore.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Yep.
you.
That's what.
Nobody
yeah,
wants
yeah.
me here anyway.
And you were talking about like how you read it and you hear Marvin's voice as Alan Rickman, and now when I read it, since I've seen the movie, I see the characters differently,
Yeah.
which is okay.
I know, I sometimes get a little annoyed when I do that because I'm like, oh, I had this idea in my head, and sometimes it's so good that it changes my perspective on it, which is good. But I also like having this sort of fantasy world as well.
Yeah.
So what
but
is
yes, my favorite book. I think my favorite book is probably Beauty by Sherry Tepper.
What's that one?
what's that about?
Oh, yeah. What's that about?
It is a science fiction fantasy version of Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
You know, have you read the Hatter M series? Have you done the science fiction fantasy version of Alice in Wonderland yet?
No, I haven't. I did Alice in Zombieland.
Oh, that sounds rad. Cool. I'll have to check that out. That's
While
great.
we're on that subject, I want to sound cool. There is an Australian author called Kate Forsyth who actually did a triple retelling of Rapunzel, doing 3 separate stories that all linked up to the writing of Rapunzel the book.
Oh, that's
Oh,
really
cool.
Like
Step-
Finding Neverland
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Cool.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I don't know if that was
I
as
did
cool
book
as what
club
we
on
said,
that.
but yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
That's great, man.
Finished the page as I was dialing in.
Great.
It says a lot about me
That's
as
awesome.
a person.
Yeah.
But if you'd like that one, it's called Bitter Greens.
You're gonna have to explain that to me after. That's
The
great.
title of the book. I was just taking a long time to remember what the
Oh,
book
I
was
thought it
called,
was-
Gotcha,
but I
gotcha.
got there in the
Okay,
end.
cool.
I am so sorry. Hey, back to you, our guest.
Are you?
that's
So
fine.
we've been debating sort of British humor, not necessarily debating or
Right.
versus American humor, but sort of
British is better.
the pros and cons of both and the styles of both.
I'm going to say that in a room full of Americans.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you? I'm with you. But do you have a preference? Do you like any other sort of British humor? What are some of your? Do you read this book for the humor? Or is it more the characters that drew you in the first time you read it?
I read it on a recommendation because it sounded hilarious. One thing I like about British humor is it's kind of dry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a martini.
Like
It's so dry.
I love
yeah.
Eddie Izzard.
Oh,
Yes.
It's great.
But it's just the whole storytelling of it is, it's not the humor alone. It just
It's not
the
so
way it
linear.
applies to life. Like the whale, I mean, that's all of us. It's like, oh, as soon as we start figuring it out, flat, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. Oh, we're gonna get to the whale, which is
Coming up soon. Okay. I can't wait.
it's very. I'm saving
Sperm
this.
whale just died.
I'm
Mic
s-
real quick, we're just gonna fix your mic.
Me?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
A sperm whale just died for no apparent reason when the missile was launched. Did you hear that one? That was another curveball that made
Oh.
absolutely no sense. Yeah, it's like a few things happened. Someone got bruised, a sperm whale died.
Oh.
But whatever, everything's fine. And I was
That's
like,
life.
not to the
That's life.
sperm whale.
Thank you.
Heather, who's your favorite character so far in this sort of reread of Hitchhiker's Guide?
I think I would have to go with Marvin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's so great.
Every
How
book
can you
needs a
not love
Marvin.
him?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna spend probably the whole next part of the show talking about the whale because it's very important. But we're not quite there yet, and you've read the book, but there are a couple of underlying themes in addition to the sort of absurdist humor and the story. Have you picked up and don't spoil Hector if you could, although I guess you've seen the film, but
Go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
do you think that Douglas Adams is going for anything underlying besides, the main story and sort of the absurdism of it?
Maybe that humans think a little too highly of themselves and think maybe we have a little more power than we actually do.
Absolutely.
And actually, like
That's what
reading it
absurdist
right
humor does,
now,
right?
and this, this president who's kind of an idiot, it feels very relevant.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's one of those things where
And the
even
orange
in
scarf that he was wearing.
in the description of the Earth exploding, it's so quick. It's like not even a blip on anyone else's radar. It's
Yep.
just another day for someone else. And it's like we talked about last week, when you think of the universe and you look at, I saw this video that was like the Earth and then stars and then the galaxy and everything. It can be comforting because you're like, well, it matters to me, but every day doesn't really matter that
Yeah.
much in the scheme of things. It's comforting sometimes
Yeah.
to kind of take yourself down a notch and be like, okay, everyone else is living these other lives in their own head, and they're not even worrying about me or what I'm concerned about.
Midorico's wasting time in the comments. Still the greatest mystery. Whose elbow got bruised? Let's
Yeah.
do a little round here. Who do you think, whose elbow or upper arm got bruised? Do you
I'm going to
think?
go with Arthur.
Yeah, it would
too.
happen to him, wouldn't
Yeah.
he?
Heather agrees. Yep.
Yeah.
Going for the improbability drive.
Yeah.
But it was a low improv. It's like 1 out of 4, 5.
Yeah.
Unless
And
it was
that's Arthur. That's his life. That's who he is.
What if it was Marvin, because it's so improbable that he would be bruised?
He actually got a bruise.
Try, it's
Oh,
the
it
most-
would be me, wouldn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
my arm hurts, even though I can't hear.
That's a really good Alan Rickman. That's really good.
I watched a lot of Love Actually.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Do you think he knows? Yes.
Can you ask me to turn to page
Didn't you watch it?
394?
What?
No?
Is that a Harry Potter
Yeah.
little thing that you got going?
Yep.
That you don't actually deserve to talk about?
Wow. Okay, great.
Not until you read the book.
That's true.
Hey,
Also,
have you ever seen and enjoyed any comic book movie? Well, you shouldn't have because you haven't read any of the No, I'm not going to say that. That's
I think
mean.
I've read the comic.
I would never say that.
couple of them.
Of course you have. Sure.
well, thanks so much for joining us, Heather. It's been
thank you.
lovely. Make sure you keep sending us your questions and thoughts as we go along, especially because you've read it. Oh,
On a final note, what book do you think we should read next?
yeah.
Oh. I need like 5 minutes to think about that because there's so many
Okay.
of them.
I
Okay.
definitely
Okay.
had
Oh, hey, maybe a
Chronicles.
Dragon Riders of Pern book.
Dragon Riders of
Ooh.
Pern. That'd be awesome. I've heard of that.
I love dragons.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I was just thinking we haven't
Exactly.
done any like super high fantasy either.
Sure. And
Ooh,
I'm all
yeah,
about
ready for
Pern,
it.
so let's do that. Let's add that to the list.
Let's do it.
that.
Not on the list.
Perms over perms.
That'd be great.
Awesome.
T-shirts tomorrow.
All right.
Cool. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, Heather. Bye.
Woohoo.
Bye.
Nice.
Love that.
Okay. That's really fun.
My favorite part as well is people that actually write their favorite quotes from the book into the comments.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know it's a little bit back in alpha now, but the moderator did one about Marvin and the Doors, what we were talking about, and their relationship. But it was
Yeah.
absolutely hysterical, and I had a little chuckle to myself.
That's what
And
you're
it's
laughing
just
at.
right there. The
Oh, yeah.
moderator. Oh,
I
got it, I got it.
Oh,
Dude, you were so close.
everyone's just so excited
Yeah.
to comment.
It's about to open again. I can tell by the intolerable
You want to know the
smug. Too far.
You got it. I'm not doing it.
I can start again. I'm not sure it'll be worth
You
it.
will start again, and it will be glorious.
Sorry.
What's the petunias again? The bowl of petunias?
Oh, we're gonna get into
Oh,
that.
it's a whole thing.
It's because
They
it's
randomly pop up because it's improbable.
Right.
well.
That's fair.
The chat keeps talking too fast.
Yeah, the
No.
chat's all chatty.
I think I have
Alpha
it.
chat, shut up for a second. Just shut the hell up
I think
for
I
1
have
second.
it.
Pipe down, Chachi.
Oh God.
What's that from?
And then we'll ask you guys to please continue commenting. There we go. There we go.
It's about to open again. I can tell by the intolerable air of smugness that suddenly generates.
Thank you, moderator. Here's my favorite
Yes.
quote.
Okay.
"We've met," said Arthur sharply. "When you're cruising down the road in a fast lane and you lazily sail past a few hard-driving cars and are feeling pretty pleased with yourself, and then accidentally change down from fourth to first instead of third, thus making your engine leap out of your hood and a rather ugly mess, it tends to throw you off your stride in much the same way that this remark threw Ford Prefect off his." What? He said?
Love it.
Perfect.
Isn't that great? Because we
That's
can all
such a
picture
great
it.
damn paragraph.
Does anyone actually drive stick anymore and like stick where you have to
My mom
jiggle that
does, 'cause
around?
she's a
Yes,
badass.
Yes, I can't. And I get nightmares that I get into a car having to drive someone to the hospital and it's stick shift and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, here we go. I'm going to crash the car.
You'll figure it out.
Love that. Love the fact that nothing's an accident. It was such a throwaway line at the beginning of the book. Arthur, he's the kind of guy who's chatting to a gorgeous girl that he thinks he's got some connection with, and then someone comes in and whisks her away, and that's Arthur in a
Hey, I've
nutshell.
got a spaceship.
Well, that's also part of the improbability drive, I think, too, is that what are the odds that the people that they would meet on Earth, the Earth would blow up, and then they'd be
Agreed.
rescued in the 30 seconds that they could be rescued before being sucked into space, like the scene in Mission to Mars where Tim Robbins takes off his helmet
so
that I'll
sad.
never get out of my
So
head
sad. And he
ever
just
in my
froze up,
life.
and he was all like concrete, just froze to
Oh,
get his
that's
wife
dead.
to
To
go
save
back.
his wife, I know.
Yeah.
I think about that
That
anytime
movie's
someone
really
takes
all
their.
over the place, but damn it, it's great. Mission to Mars, guys, go see it. Gary Sinise, Don Cheadle, come on.
Oh, yeah.
He's in that, right?
It's,
Cheadle?
yeah,
Sounds
Cheeds
a lot
is in
like,
it.
Every other movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. So we have to talk about the sperm whale because I think I was 13 or 14 the first time I read
What
this.
chapter is that?
That's 18.
Okay, great.
And that's when, so they've discovered this planet. Zaphod Beeblebrox is not even sure, which is a scary thing. He's not even sure why he wants to find this
Trillian's
planet.
description of Zaphod about his stupidity. And when he plays the stupid card, when
Yes.
he actually knows what's happening, when he plays it to get out of actually having a smart conversation. he
It's
plays
eerie.
dumb. Oh my gosh, there are people like that, and I think I'm one of them.
Really?
Yes.
No, yeah.
I have a
I don't
I have
know.
a friend who
sometimes-
did that.
I sometimes can play dumb,
Sure.
so I can avoid a conversation I don't want to have. Sometimes I just don't know a lot about a lot of things, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll just pretend I am stupid about this.
Oh.
And then other times,
You have an excuse. You're a foreigner. It's fine. You're not. This isn't the country that you were born and raised in. It's fine. That's such an easy excuse. To just
so
be
much
like,
better than you didn't go to university. So this was what I was panicking
yes,
about.
yep, totally, yeah.
I didn't learn that much in college. If
I-
it makes
yeah.
you feel any better.
Yeah, I forgot every single thing.
Yeah.
What is the one thing I learned in college that I still remember?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I don't
6.
know. High school was like the difference between there, and there. Like that's basically.
Oh,
what I
I've got that down.
There you go. you're good to
Nailed
go.
it. That's
Thank
all
you.
you
Good to
really
go.
need.
There, THERE, you go.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice. So when we're looking at Magrathea, which
M
Trillian
planet.
calls a bit like Atlantis on Earth, except that the legends say the Magratheans used to manufacture planets, and they're looking at
There
this
it is.
planet, and so they're trying to figure it out. They're on the dark side of this planet, and no one really understands why they're there. And it says. All right, just supposing there's something. I take it you're not here for the sheer industrial archaeology bit all. What are you after? One of Zaphod's heads looked away. The other one looked around to see what the first was looking at, but it wasn't looking at anything very much. Well, Zaphod said airily, it's partly the curiosity, partly a sense of adventure, but mostly I think it's the fame and the money. Ford glanced at him sharply. He got a very strong impression that Zaphod hadn't the faintest idea why he was there at all, which is creepy. I don't know what page it is
It's
for you.
different for us.
I know. It's the end of 16. But basically, I like this idea that we don't know if he's a genius or playing stupid or what's happening.
Yeah.
We've already set that up. He's taking them to this place that is shrouded in mystery. No one knows why it disappeared.
Yeah.
They've
I
got
don't
an
know why
improbability.
he's disappeared. He's left his presidential.
They don't know why he
Yeah.
wanted this improbability drive to find this planet, and we don't know why. That, to me, if I was on board, I'd be like, you know what? I have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Although I probably wouldn't,
No, I
because
like
there's so much
adventure.
mystery. I know.
Yeah.
You just want to figure it out. Then they try to speak to the planet, and the planet has this recorded message that says, like,
From a long time ago.
yeah, saying,
I
thank
can-
you. Oh, yes, please read it.
No, I was going to say I could hear the dust being blown off the microphone as it was playing. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
it felt like something out of, like, BioShock or, you know.
Yes.
Or that great moment in the pilot of Lost where they heard the French woman's
Yes.
message. Do you remember Lost? How good
Yeah,
it was?
the
So good.
pilot
It
of
totally
Lost
played
was
out. It
so
totally paid off.
good.
So
It-
great.
Such a great show.
Such a great show.
Yeah,
Such
You
a
guys,
great show.
they're
Rachel.
trying to anger me, and it's
Such a good
working
show.
because I loved Lost. So we're gonna talk about it every time on this
It's like
show.
I got lost trying to find Lost, so I never got there. All right, the automated message.
Yes.
Greetings to you. And then it's like someone from the dead planet was talking to them. Computer! Shouted Zaphod. Hi there. Oh, I want to do that southern accent. That's too much the last book, the 2 books ago. We don't have to go on about blah, 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 all the stuff that happens in between. I'm just going to do the computer recordings.
Okay, please.
This is a recorded announcement, as I'm afraid we're all out at the moment. The Commercial Council of Margatheria, I'm never going to get that, Margrathia. I've been saying Margatheria
That's okay.
in my
That's
head.
fine.
I was saying Hermione for 4 books.
I thought it was Beetlebrox,
Sure.
not Beeble.
This is.
I like
this
Beetlebrox.
This is
Yeah.
the most embarrassing example, guys.
no.
Everybody knows the classic comic book character Annihilus from the Fantastic Four from the Negative Zone. When I was a kid, I used to pronounce his name Annihilius. What? So embarrassing. Oh, such a classic character. Everybody knows. Like, oh, sorry. Yeah, give me some more wine.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, like,
Clearly.
Galacticus. Yeah, it's
I
like.
think I still do.
That's so embarrassing.
What is it really?
Is it
Galactic.
Galactus.
That was just called Galactus.
Devourer of worlds. Anywho's it?
I said abhorrent for up until 2 weeks ago.
Abhorrent?
Abhorrent.
That's one bottle down.
fine, that's fine.
Someday we'll have cheese.
Oh, that, okay. Leave that out.
No, I'm
There's an H in the word.
I just mean
It's
I'll
silent.
bring it and I'll say I brought cheese and we're eating it.
Abhorrent.
Yeah, no, that's quite a hard R.
It
H.
is.
Abhorrent.
Hard R. Abhorrent.
An H.
Yeah.
I thought the H was silent.
But it
one I-
might be in Australia.
Nah.
man.
Hub. To quote
not.
Heather and
quote
my
Heather.
favorite or one of our favorite I spelled comedians, you say herb and we say herb because there's a fucking H in it.
Yes! There is. It's not Heather. Heather didn't call in, did she? But still.
Heather.
It's just such a weird
Abhorrent.
H in that word.
I've heard. Listen.
Abhorrent. Abhorrent.
My
I
name,
like abhorrent.
my name in
Yeah.
Spanish is technically
Until
pronounced
two.
Hector, so what can you do?
Hector. That's
true.
Different languages, different strokes.
Heine.
I don't know.
So it continues. Thank you for your esteemed visit. But regrets that the entire planet is temporarily closed for business. Thank you. If you would care to leave your name and the address of your planet and where you can be contacted, kindly speak when you hear a tone. A short buzz followed, then silence. And then basically there's no hints being taken. I don't know if you want me to continue that.
Yeah, basically they send missiles after the ship and everyone's running around trying to figure out what to do. Arthur, without really thinking, goes for the improbability drive, which turns the 2 missiles into a potted plant of petunias and a sperm whale.
The sperm whale died.
It's so sad, and it really upset me when I was younger, and I read it again, and I got really sad again. Like, I might cry. It's really deeply upsetting. He goes, they say, okay, it turned into this, and And then they go through and says, another thing that got forgotten was the fact that against all probability, a sperm whale had suddenly been called into existence several miles above the surface of an alien planet. And since this is not a naturally tenable position for a whale, this poor innocent creature had very little time to come to terms with its identity as a whale before it then had to come to terms with not being a whale anymore. This is a complete record of its thought from the moment it began its life till the moment it ended it. Ah, what's happening, it thought. Excuse me, who am I? Hello? Why am I here? What's my purpose in life? What do I mean by who am I? And he goes through to figure out the parts of his poor body. He goes, never mind. Hey, this is really exciting. So much to find out about, so much to look forward to. I'm quite dizzy with anticipation. Or is it the wind? There really is a lot of that now, isn't there? And wow, hey, what's this thing coming suddenly toward me very fast? Very, very fast. So big and flat and round. It needs a big, wide-sounding name like ow, ound, round, ground. That's it. That's a good name, ground. I wonder if it will be friends with me. And the rest, after a sudden wed thud, was silence. I mean, come on.
That's so great.
To be fair, though, I have had an existential crisis that quickly too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Me too. But you didn't crash into the ground a minute after coming into existence.
Didn't. Well, I could have been birthed onto a floor and not have. My mother would never tell me that.
That's true, but you're
Could've been
alive.
shot out.
I mean, this
Hit a
whale
fall.
is
Coulda.
not there, and
So sad, but so funny.
It's so
It's
funny.
almost so funny that it doesn't let you feel sad for the whale
No,
because
you
of how
feel
damn
bad
funny it
laughing
is.
while crying.
Right, exactly.
See, I
exactly.
felt very sad. We've talked about what a sad, sensitive child I was, and I remember throwing my book when I read this and almost giving up on it because
Rachel Beaver's with you. I was certainly upset reading it.
So sad for this
So
poor.
funny.
I wonder if it will be friends with me. Is the knife in the heart, and that's such great
Ground.
writing. It's like
That's
the
what Java Book Geek Girl
sweetest,
says. That was the
sweetest.
saddest part. Was that its last thought was, "I wonder if it'll be friends with me."
I might cry right now.
Aw.
It's so sad,
Oh,
but
man.
so funny.
Oh my
The thing
gosh.
is, though, weren't we saying that in space you had 30 seconds of oxygen before you would die if you were holding your breath?
But it was in the atmosphere, right?
Oh, it already was.
I think it was already, or I mean, that's about 30. I mean, I feel
Sure.
like it's just
That was
falling.
a very eventful 30 seconds.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, Eddie
That-
Izzard did the voice of that sperm whale in the movie. Another great little moment.
Yep.
Another great little, so
I'm
funny.
excited to watch it again.
I know. I
Yeah.
am excited to watch it again after. Billy Rocher says, this is my favorite book. We're so excited that, I hope I said your last name right. We're so excited that you're joining us for it. In case everyone is joining us now, you can watch part 1 of our discussion where we go through the beginning of the book on YouTube, right here on Nerdist. This is part 2. We'll have 2 more. We're going to talk about the movie.
Great.
We're
Yes.
going to go through different stuff.
We
but
also fan cast as well. If
Yes,
something that
and you
you're-
have a
Oh, I
fan
have one. I
cast,
have a fan
yes.
cast.
Go
First
on.
of all,
It's Trillian, isn't it?
we met. No, Trillian is Zoe Deschanel, and I try to make it work,
no.
even though
British.
even though exactly, even though she
Tandy.
speaks.
And it fulfills your
Tandy Newton.
diversity need. Like everything wins if it's Tandy Newton.
Wait, so it's yours is Tandy Newton.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Trillian's Tandy.
She's British in real life. I didn't know that.
Yes.
She's-
I don't know who. I'm going to think on Trillian for next week because I don't have
Well,
one. But what's
again,
yours?
a Trillian is Zoe, but
a trillion,
My
a trillion.
fan casting is we meet the computer that is the perkiest,
Mm-hmm.
like lightest, like, oh hi there, hello, hey guys, I just want to help.
And they're so mean to
And
it.
at first, I know. And at first, I cast Ellie Kemper from The Office.
Oh, yeah.
And from
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Like
she's
so
in it?
perfect,
Oh,
so perfect. But then at one point, they referred to the computer as a he. So then
Yes.
I went straight from her to Jack McBrayer.
Oh
Fix It
my
Felix Jr.
God.
Went straight to this southern
that
like,
one I'm
hi
sorry?
there from 30 Rock.
From
Oh,
30
yeah,
Rock,
yeah,
Kenneth.
yeah.
Yeah, Kenneth
Yep.
the Page.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
perfect.
That
beautiful.
That perfect
Yes.
casting of that voice. It's
Yes.
just like, I just want to help. What's going on? Oh, okay. Well, we've got a couple missiles incoming, and hi there. All right. Like that was
Yes.
it for me.
That's perfect. That's,
great.
Well
really
done.
great.
I can't. I love that.
Thank you.
Everyone in the chat, let us know if you have anyone else. And we're seeing a couple people both in YouTube and Alpha talking about the bowl of petunias or the potted plant of petunias, which thought, oh no, not again. And then they thought, if we knew more about petunias and the way that they think, we might know more about the universe.
Yeah.
And I know, and someone mentioned this, that in Mostly Harmless, which is how the Hitchhiker's Guide describes Earth and is a later book in the series, they do address petunias later.
It's
Really?
even such a British word, petunia, isn't it? Petunia.
It is.
Oh, again, petunia comes up in.
Harry Potter. So for everyone who's new, just so we can kindly shame Hector.
I'm not doing it to be a bully. I'm
Yes,
doing
we
it
just
because
want you
I'm-
to experience
I'm
it.
You guys,
forcing the audience's hand.
I signed up to this show, first of all, because you guys are going to be involved and it was going to be awesome. Second reason is they told me that if we had a weird month that had 5, what day is today? Wednesday? Wednesdays in a month, one of those weeks would maybe be a comic book. Mm-hmm. We would at one point maybe read a graphic novel, a comic book. Did you say bless?
Yeah.
Just wait until that week, and then I will make fun of Mod so hard, but then I won't because that's not being
Which
good.
Which graphic novel would you pick?
I don't
feel
know,
like
so
I
many.
make fun of you?
No, not at all. Not at
I
all.
think March might have 5.
March?
March
You know
is
what's
my
coming out in
birthday.
March?
5.
I'm just saying, whatever. It could be related to what's happening.
Oh,
in
yeah.
comics.
Oh, yeah.
would love to read Logan.
Iron Fist. Whatever you guys want. Whatever you
I
want.
would too.
Iron Fist sounds
Just 'cause-
naughty.
And what's that?
Edward Rick?
Oh, hell yeah. Immortal Iron Fist. And I would be a good ambassador, unlike Maud, who shames me for not having read Harry Potter yet.
Well, I was the one doing it right now, just
That's
to
okay.
deflect
That's
from
okay.
you. But
Definitely
I
a
only
team up
wanted to bring it back because, for everyone who's new, like Maud mentioned at the beginning of the show, you can help us pick the next book. So
please.
at the end of each month, when we finish the book that we're currently reading, we hold a poll. This month, a poll. This month we had Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, and Hitchhiker's Guide. I thought for sure Harry Potter would win that one.
I
my
thought
gosh.
the month before it would have been Catalyst. Oh, sorry, my bad. Turmoil, who is our Alpha Book Club community member, petitioned to have Maud do her British accent for the rest of the episode.
Okay, great.
Done.
So that's
Honestly,
happening
I
now.
don't even hear the difference. I'm so stupid. I'm such a dumb American. I'm like, it's all the same.
When are you going to start, Maud?
Yeah.
When are you going to start doing it, Maud? Maud?
Can I throw in a book maybe that I want to
Yes.
throw in there? We've been getting a bunch of news about the upcoming Han Solo movie. Mm-hmm. I want to read the first book in the Han Solo
Yes.
trilogy by A.C. Crispin that I believe is going to give us the basis for the character that Woody Harrelson's playing.
Yes.
Like so many things that is now technically legends and not canon, but I think they're going to pull and do anyway.
I would like
Big
to
story.
read that
Just-
for just my job to know
I
that.
put it on my wish list in Audible.
Ooh,
nice.
And I
so
just
there you
finished
go.
a Star Wars book. Actually, I've got
Come on.
about 4 minutes to go, but I had to exit my
Which
car
book?
to come here. Lost Stars,
Oh, I
Claudia
haven't
Gray.
read
I've
it
got
yet.
4 minutes to go. It's quite lovely, guys.
Great.
I
I'm a
would
big
like
fan of it. It needs a
to-
little bit more sex, but that's just me.
I would like to re-add 2 books that we we put on the list a couple months ago. Handmaid's Tale by
Yes.
Margaret Atwood and 1984 because
Oh,
they
I
had
want 1984 so
they've
bad.
sold out on Amazon because of
Trump.
things
The
that are
world.
happening.
Because of the world.
People are educating themselves.
But
Get out of here, Beacon.
but when
the most relevant.
when I suggested them, I was like, oh, there were more exciting books, and now everyone's trying to read them. Maybe we should have read them before. But I would love to add those back on.
84, number 1 on Amazon.
But I'd love, and Handmaid's Tale is like number 2 now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
And there's a TV show coming
and the
out.
TV
Yes,
show is
Elizabeth
coming out,
Moss.
which
Elizabeth
is
Moss.
great.
That's right. And
It's
the
great.
showrunners were like, sorry, we didn't want this to be super relevant, but oops.
But whoops, it is.
The world.
So you guys, you can tweet at us at Join Team Alpha. I'm at Rachel Hine. Hector is funny. Maud Garrett.
I gotta clarify, that's my Twitter.
That's
You're
the
not just
Twitter
giving me a
handle.
compliment. Thank you so
Hector
much.
is funny.
Pretty funny.
Hector is
Hector's
very
pretty
funny.
funny.
No, I do okay.
That's too long though.
We love Hector.
handle.
And so you can send us all of your we keep a list of all the different books and we go through polls each week and you guys get to pick what we do next. You can send us all your questions. So for next week, we're reading up through chapter 27. Stop at chapter 28.
Yes.
Send us your book recommendations with the hashtag Alpha Book Club. That's
Yeah.
what this show is called. Stick around for Watch Your Language.
Watch your language.
Watch Your Language. I don't know too much mine. And Sidekick with Matt Myra, hosted by Jonah Ray, with special guest Chris Hardwick. Papa Hardwick is here. He is the greatest. They're all hanging out. It's super fun. If you
Hardwick's
guys
in
are
the Lego Batman movie.
I know. Yeah, he does several voices. And if you guys are fans of the Nerdist podcast, you know that these 3 started the podcast together. They don't get together a lot, so definitely check it out. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you here next week with more wine, more book talk. I'm Rachel Hine,
I'm Hector Navarro.
I'm Maud Garrett.
and we're going to drink all this wine now. Bye.
Sorry if I was offensive, Greg.